guys, it's Kelsey Kennedy. I am doing a video on Egypt today. It's been a highly requested video that I talk about my time in Egypt. I think Egypt is one of those countries that a lot of people are very curious about, and not a lot of people get to go over to that side of the world very often. And so I got the privilege of going in October for about 8 days, and it was magnificent. It was so much fun. And I'm here to tell you all my tips and tricks and stories and all the crazy things between. I flew into Cairo and from Dubai, and it was in the middle of the night, and being a broke backpacker, I was like, whatever, like I'm just gonna get the cheapest flight. And I got in at like 12 a.m. I mean, that was kind of stupid of me on my part, but I was just like, whatever, I'll wing it, it's fine. Upon arriving to the Cairo airport, you do need to get a visa. I just thought you got in line and they will like stamp your passport and give you a visa right there, but that's not the case. I waited in line for like an hour to get my passport stamped, and then I got to the front and they were like, yeah, no, like you have to go back and get your visa. As soon as you get off the airplane and before you get in line, on the right hand side there's like a bank or two, and that's where you get your visa. So you just go up to the bank and you're like, hey, I'm just looking for a visa, and you go and you give them your passport. I think it's about $20 to get the visa, and once you've paid them and they've put the visa in your passport, I'll go get mine. So the Egyptian visa looks like this. Once you've got that, you enter the line again and they'll stamp your passport, and then you're in the country. The Cairo airport is a little bit sketchy, just because there's not like a lot going on, and it's a bit of an older airport. All in all, I was safe. I got my bags off of the baggage claim. Then they scan your bag and they just like let you go through. Upon arriving, it was like the middle of the night, as I said before, and I got a car service. I kind of was just like, I just wanted to get to my hostel and I was tired, and so I went to the information desk at the front, because the taxi drivers will be in the airport and they'll kind of just grab at you, they'll like pull at you a little bit and be like, taxi, taxi. So you just kind of have to be like, no, and then go to the front desk and just be like, hey, I'm looking for, you know, a car service, I need to get here. I had my address inside my phone, and so I was like, I need to get here, and so they hired me a car service, and the guy took me to my hostel, but he actually couldn't find my hostel for so long. Yeah, there was something going on in the streets of Cairo that night. I think there was a soccer game or some sort of celebration, and people were just like hanging out of cars, and you know, there was like riots in the street, and I was just like, oh my god, welcome to Egypt, okay. So once I finally found my hostel, or the guy helped me find my hostel, we asked like a million different people, found it. I rented a hostel in the middle of Cairo in like the busiest area, and I could hear cars honking all night, and you know, that was a bit overwhelming to have my first night just be like so crazy, but all in all, I succeeded. I got there, and the next morning up until this point, I was traveling alone, and I met my partner at the time in Cairo, and we did like the Nile River, we did the Cairo Tower, we did a few other touristy things, but after about a day in the city, we kind of wanted to explore other things. From Cairo, we went over to Giza, which was just like a neighboring city, which was really close. We just took a taxi. Giza was really, really cool. You can see the Giza pyramids from all over the city, and it's kind of just cool because you see, as kids, you're told stories about the Giza pyramids, or you know, you see movies, and to see it in person is just like, wow, like this is so cool. It was like right in front of me. And we did some tours around the Giza pyramids as well, which was really cool. If you do want to do a tour, go to viator.com, V-I-A-T-O-R. They're more of like a legit website that does offer sightseeing and tours all over the country. Viator is great. It's not just for Egypt, it's for like almost any country. It has tons of different options, and it has legitimate tour guides, so it's not just kind of a random sketchy tour guide. I went on Viator when I was in Abu Dhabi for sightseeing, and it was actually really awesome. We had a tour guide who told us all the historical facts about Abu Dhabi, and yeah, but that's for another story. Yeah, we went to Giza for about a day and a half, and that was about enough, I'd say. There's not much going on besides like the pyramids. There is like a tour that we went on with our hotel manager. He was like, hey, like my cousin, which by the way, a lot of people in Egypt are tour guides, but our hotel manager was like, hey, my cousin is a tour guide. He will take you on this tour. It was actually really sick because he spoke really well English, and he took us to a bunch of different pyramids, not just the Giza pyramids. There was like random ones that no tourists go to. And it was really cool. He just like picked us up in his car and he told us different stories about Egypt and the historical facts about just different pyramids that we were at, and he took us around. It was really awesome. Also for taxis, if you're gonna take a taxi while you're in Egypt, just make sure that the taxi does have a meter because some of the taxis aren't actually taxis and they'll just pull up on the side of the road and, you know, ask if you want to ride. Sometimes it's not really safe, but if you do get one, just make sure that it does have a meter, just because then, you know, there's your price and you pay it, and instead of it being like a random number of money and then they expect you to pay it and you had no idea. So there is a transportation called Go Bus, and it's a bus that goes all over Egypt to like the main cities, and it's amazing. It's pretty cheap and they're somewhat reliable. It's the easiest and the fastest way to get around Egypt. You can book online and pay like a day in advance or two, just because they do book up fast. If you're gonna go for an overnight bus, wear warm clothes. It does get cold at night. They do give you a few snacks, like in a little box that they have like juices and water and like some bread and stuff, but do bring some other snacks because you do get hungry on the longer rides. A lot of the buses say that they have Wi-Fi on the bus, but they don't. So whatever you need to get before, like information for addresses and stuff like that, get while you're in your hostel while you have Wi-Fi. Also, there is an app that you can download called Maps.me. It works in any single country, but when you're in Wi-Fi, you download the country that you're in or the city that you're in, and it will have offline maps that you can use while you're not in Wi-Fi, which was really sick. It helped me so much while I was on my travels, and when I was lost in the city, I would just open my Maps.me and it would take me straight back to my hostel. But then after that, we went down to Luxor. We took the Go Bus and we went down to Luxor, and we went to like the Karnak temple, and we did a few other things inside Luxor, which Luxor is a really cool city if you ever get the chance to go. It's like right in the middle of Egypt and it's covered in desert. There are a few other cities that I wish I got the chance to go to, which is, I'm sorry if I say it wrong, but Aswan, and also Alexandria I've heard is really amazing, which is at the very top of Egypt. Aswan is just below Luxor. We just ran out of time and I didn't have time to go down there, which I really wish I had the chance to go to. But after Luxor, we went up to Hurghada, which is right on the Red Sea, and it's stunning. If you ever get to take the bus from Luxor to Hurghada, do it. 100% do it. It is the prettiest route on a bus that I have ever seen. You go from straight desert right up until like crystal blue water, and at one point we stopped on the side of the road to stretch our legs, and it's like a long strip of road in the middle that has like it's like completely flat, and on one side it is completely desert and you walk across the road into like crystal blue water. It's definitely one of those sights that I will never forget. It's so pretty. Hurghada is like a little rundown town, and so cool though. It's like kind of like a beach vibe, and it's like really chill. We met like some really cute kids on the side of the road just like hanging out, and they just came and talked to us. We got to go down to the Red Sea and have a dip in the Red Sea, and it was so surreal. I actually got quite a lot of attention when I was in Egypt, just because I think I have blonde hair and it's like very like foreign to see that. So I was in the Red Sea swimming, and I was in like my bikini, and I get out of the water, and there was this family that like run up to me, and they're like, oh, like, can we take a picture? And I just thought that like they wanted me to take a picture of them, and they actually wanted a picture with me, and I was like, sure, can I put my pants on? But I think that's a really cool thing about Egypt, is just so many people are so welcoming, and it was definitely a little bit overwhelming just because I didn't really know, like, they wanted a picture with me, and I was just like, like, I don't know, like, obviously as a backpacker, you're kind of like on your guard a lot. So I took a picture with these people, and it was really awesome. They like were super excited just to like hang out with me and like talk to me, and I don't know, they just like were so welcoming and so nice. The exact same thing actually happened when I was in Luxor at the Karnak temple. A huge family of like 15 people ran up. I guess they were following me, and they like ran up behind me and wanted a picture with me, and they were like holding my hand, and they were like taking selfies with me. They didn't have a bad bone in their body When I backpack, I am on my guard a lot, and I'm very aware of what's going on around me, which you should be. You should be like protective of yourself, but I think letting down your guard once in a while, I think is a good thing, and that's what I did when these people came up and asked me for a photo. I was just like, yeah, like let's do it, and it was really awesome experience, and I'm glad that I let these people just like, it was something so simple, just like taking my photo, but they found such joy in it. So if you ever get to go to Egypt and people ask for your photo, don't be a dick. They are just interested that people are coming to visit their country and they want to take a picture with you. It's not a big deal. After we spent like a day and a half in Hurghada, we went back up to Cairo and spent another day in Cairo. And our last day in Cairo, we were like, we really want to like ride a camel. And mind you, I didn't do a lot of research about the camels and camel rides and stuff like that. When I was in Thailand, I did a lot of research about elephant rides and stuff, but I didn't really think about it in Cairo or in Egypt, I guess. And I know I should have, but it just slipped my mind. And so we went on this camel ride. Camel ride was actually in Giza, and we went on this camel ride, and there was actually people fighting over who we were customers to. And so we got up on these camels, and these camels are big, bro. Like, I was up there and I felt like I was like 20 feet tall, and they were fighting about whose customer was who, and like, it was really scary, but it was awesome at the same time. So finally I was just like, let's go on a camel ride. Like, I don't want to argue about this anymore. So we get down and we're going down the back alleys of Giza, and this is where I wish I could have done my research about camel rides, because we go down this back alley and it's just like camel after camel, horse after horse, and clearly these animals haven't really been taken care of because they sit there all day waiting to be rented. And so I felt pretty depressed after that, but we got to like, this is one of my like weird stories that I'm gonna tell you. We were in the back alley and we get to a fork in the road, and by then it's just about sunset. And so you're not really supposed to go out into the desert after sunset. So we get to the fork in the road and there's like military and then there's police, and they're like, no, like you can't go anymore. And I was like, shit. I was like, we paid for this ride, like we can't go. And I have a backpack on and I keep everything in my backpack. And the military was like, give me your backpack, I'm gonna check it. And I was like, ugh. So I was like, oh, okay, here you go. And so I'm like watching them like go through my bag and whatever, and obviously I'm just a little bit hesitant that someone's gonna steal something. So as we're doing that, our tour guide slips, like, I think it was like a 20 or something, to the police. And then after that, they're like, okay, yeah, go. And I was like, oh God, this is sketch. This is not a legit tour. We should have paid for like something that was actually legitimate. Because I'm pretty sure we just found this tour guide, like, he was just chilling at a shop, like sitting on the side of the road, and he was like, hey, I'm a tour guide. And I was like, sweet, you want to take us on a tour? Which I kind of regret, because I wish we got like a legit tour where they actually could tell us like facts about the Giza pyramids and all that sort of thing. That's where Viator comes in. But I was like, it was our last day, and I was like, deuces, like, let's go. So finally we get past the fork in the road and we get up to the sand dunes, and we're walking around. And if you go on a camel, be prepared for your legs to chafe. I swear I had like bruising and like cuts in there. I was in pain, dude. Camels are not easy to ride. They just, like, horses, you can kind of get like a rhythm, whereas camels, they just like don't really give a fuck about like what is going on. By the time we got out there, it was like dark, and I was like, okay, let's just fucking turn around. I was like, I'm over this. So we get back, and I somehow always get myself into like really weird, sketchy situations when I'm traveling. Sorry, Mom. But anyway, like, Egypt was awesome. It was definitely a culture shock for me, coming from Canada and just going even into the Middle East when I went to Dubai or Sri Lanka. But as a backpacker, I learned how to adapt really, really fast. So that was a bit of a challenge, but it was really great because I did adapt, and I got to learn a lot about the country, and I learned a lot about myself, and just about like, it was really weird because going to Egypt kind of changed my views on life. And I know that's so cliche, but it changed the way that I thought about my life and the way that I wanted to live my life, and the culture shock helped me a lot. So if you ever get the chance to go to Egypt, just be careful. It's not your country. Be respectful of the laws and the way that they live and the culture. Before going to any country, usually in Asia or the Middle East, I did a little bit of research about different laws that I should be paying attention to that we necessarily don't really have in Canada. Just so that you're not going out there and you're not being disrespectful and you're not doing things that, you know, you're gonna get arrested for. As usual, I do say when you do go to a country that is completely foreign to you, just be confident. Don't be a stupid tourist that has, you know, a map out all the time and, you know, just wears the Hawaiian t-shirt that sticks out like a sore thumb, you know what I mean? Obviously you are foreign, but just try and adapt and try and blend in as much as possible, wear what they're wearing, and just don't be disrespectful because it isn't your country. And I know that sounds so dumb for me to say and so obvious, but a lot of people don't really, some people go to these countries or any country that's outside of their country and it's just like, whatever, like, you know, I'm rich, like I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's like, no, you can't. Like, that's not the way this works. If you want to have a good time, just adapt. I know sometimes it's a little bit hard because it's foreign to you and it's different for you, but adapt and you will learn so many cool things about the country that you're in. But I think that's all I have for Egypt. If you guys have any questions or anything that I didn't cover, just DM me, Facebook me, Snapchat me, Instagram me. Kelsey Kennedy is all of my social media. I will be doing another vlog about the different things that I have brought to the Middle East and Asia, things that I would highly suggest bringing with you. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Don't forget to subscribe and I will have another video out soon. Mwah!